Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am going to do a collective reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. If you are new here, then welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your light, your time, and your energy with this beautiful virtual space that we are co-creating here on YouTube. For those of you who are new, I also want to let you know that I do these collective readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And along with those readings, I channel a members-only exclusive reading video that you can listen to on either Patreon or YouTube memberships. And I will leave the links to that extended reading under this video so that if at any point during the reading you are feeling guided to check out the extended, you can access that easily. So I am going to be starting by shuffling the traditional tarot cards and just seeing what wants to come up in the energy. By the way, if you are new here, although I tend to do those Monday, Wednesday, Friday readings, for this 30-day period, I have committed to doing daily videos. So do subscribe if you want to get notified whenever I post new content, new downloads. And if you want to support the 30-day challenge, I started this challenge back in mid-July, and I will be continuing through mid-August. So about July 15th through August 15th, I am doing daily videos. And I would love to know if there's anything you've been challenging yourself to do every single day, either during this time period, if you've been tuning in here a while, or if you are new, maybe this will inspire you to take some kind of daily action step that really moves you towards some kind of goal, dream, or desire. Even if it seems to be something small, know that small actions, when taken consistently and with intention behind them and done from the heart, really do accumulate into a lot of momentum and results, feedback over time. For some reason, I'm getting that word feedback really strongly for someone. So maybe you are going to start getting positive feedback from other people on something, or from the universe, from the fabric of reality. I'm hearing it's almost like you've been impressing your vision, your ideas onto the fabric of reality, as we're calling it, putting those intentions, transmitting them into the quantum field, and you are beginning to see that feedback in the physical coming back to you, or you're going to be seeing that. I'm also getting that you may have specific individuals or people that are giving you some kind of feedback that solidifies to you that something you've been doing has been working or has been having some kind of effect. Specifically, I'm seeing people telling you that something's changed about you in a positive way, that there's some kind of glow about you, that you seem so happy or so confident. I'm getting that someone listening here is going to start getting these kinds of feedback messages, maybe from strangers, maybe from someone that you haven't seen in a while who is shocked by your transformation, by how much you've changed. And of course, those changes, those transformations are really happening on an energetic level and are just showing in the physical, because everything happens energetically first. And I'm really getting the sense of you focusing on shifting that energy aspect. And maybe you've been doing that for a while. And I'm hearing, don't lose heart or get discouraged if you haven't before been seeing the feedback in the physical coming back to you, because I really feel like that is something manifesting in for you at this time. That confirmation, that feedback that lets you know that whatever you've been doing has been having its intended effect. Those are the words coming through here. I got the word grape for someone, maybe something related to the fruit or grape juice or something like that is relevant. So I also kind of want to look up the symbolism there because I feel like there may be a symbol in that as well. And like I said, I am going to be shuffling. Always use your intuition. At the end of the day, it's really your intuition that is the compass of your life experience. It's my only goal through these readings to help connect you with that intuitive knowing within yourself. Wow. Okay. So yeah, the grapes kind of remind me of the cornucopia, which the cornucopia card in my energy oracle deck always stands for manifestation and abundance. It's a super positive card, but I'm also getting that grapes can represent alchemy because this fruit is crushed to produce wine, representing the idea that transformation often comes through pressure or surrender, which I feel carries within it a powerful message for someone here listening, because I'm getting that the abundance that you are creating or attracting is coming through some kind of pressure that has happened spiritually or literally in your life that may have even at times left you feeling crushed or you feeling broken down. But the beautiful thing I've been getting about your transformation journey, and I know we've been following your journey for a little while here on the channel, so it's kind of a continuation on previous collective messages, which I feel is really beautiful because it's like we're following this overarching journey that you're going through step by step. But what I'm getting is you've been through circumstances that, yes, may have left you feeling crushed, but ultimately you are turning that pain into power. You are taking what you went through and actually transmuting it, not just into healing, but actually into abundance. And that's the beautiful thing here. You're not just healing the wound. You are actually creating some kind of thriving success or abundance out of it in some way. So maybe for some of you, you are actually taking things that you went through that you've held on to. I'm hearing that like you've stored in your energy field for a while, and you are actually beginning to transmute them in some kind of way through maybe putting them into your art, your music, your creation, whatever mediums or outlets you use. If you are a creative, even if you're not traditionally creative, you are still creating and molding with energy regardless of what you are doing. And a major download that was coming through while I was meditating, I may have to pause and get my journal here in a second because I was doing some journaling while I was meditating this morning, and this did come up. So I think it's interesting. It's resurfacing in this reading, but something that came up is that there's been this stuck, stagnant energy within you. I'm hearing in pockets of your being, maybe going unnoticed, at least to other people, or being kind of stored within you in a way that maybe you didn't even fully recognize or notice. You may have not noticed how these stored pockets of stagnant energy that I feel could have been from trauma or pain from your past, emotionally or literally, you may have not even noticed how these pockets of energy were affecting you because you'd gotten so accustomed to living around them. But this next phase of your life is calling you to show up as all of your energy, all of yourself. And when we have these little stuck pockets of energy within us, it slows down our whole energetic field, even if it seems mostly imperceptible. And we're not able to show up fully as 100% of ourselves. This is actually why many people, as they mature through adulthood, they begin to be more and more spiritually absent, in a sense, from their physical body. They get disconnected. You'll notice it when you speak with them and it feels like the light has gone out of their eyes, or they're kind of giving you this glazed over look, like they're not really present or they're not really listening. That's because they aren't present with themselves. And often the reason is many people have these wounds, these pockets of stored stagnant energy that they seal off within their own energetic body unconsciously for the purpose of survival, for the purpose of preservation. So that sealing off does serve a purpose, But most people never revisit and reopen those parts of themselves and let those parts of themselves breathe or transmute with that energy in order to call back that life, to call back that part of themselves that was sealed off because of the trauma or because of the wound. And it takes so much courage to be one like you who is addressing those pockets of energy, those corners of yourself that most people refuse to address within themselves. This is what renders you so powerful, but it's not an easy process. And I'm getting something about how so much of your process of healing, of shifting, of creation, it's imperceptible to others or even dismissed by them. Like, oh, do you really need to, meditate every day or journal or, do yoga or take walks in nature or be alone or whatever it is you're doing? I feel like you are kind of fiercely protecting certain parts of your rhythm or your routine that to other people look insignificant or like they wouldn't really hold any power. Like, oh, you're just meditating or you're just writing or you're just creating or walking outside. But to you, these are incredibly powerful rituals because this is how you're working with energy through these rhythms, through these rituals. So I am getting a message here about protecting those routines, protecting those rituals because you acknowledge and understand their power, but there's also no need to try to explain their power to others because I am getting that most people quite simply are not going to be understanding the power of these routines and rituals in your life, the processes by which you are shifting energy. And a major message I've been getting is that whatever you are doing, which is going to be very personal to you, if you do feel guided, you can let me and the community know in the comments what you personally do to either clear your energy or to settle yourself, to ground yourself, to work with energy, to transmute it. Because I know that you listening have your own personal processes, and this is a space of many, many like-minded souls who may understand on a deeper level and be able to respect and offer that kind of virtual energetic support to your rhythms, your routines, your journey in a way that sometimes physical people around you may not be able to do. So I definitely invite you to take advantage of that if you feel guided to share with our community here. But regardless, I am getting a message about how all of what you are doing or creating is actually happening during those times. And I know that sounds like a bold statement, but I really feel that there's truth in that. I feel as though, for example, if you are progressing in your career or at school or like taking classes, getting a certification in the workforce, running a business, or connecting with people in your life, I'm hearing all of the right energetic connections are being made before you say a word. All of the progress that is exhibiting itself physically in your work, in your business, in your career, in your creative life, it's all actually being established energetically first because you are reverse engineering this entire equation. Most people are trying to put forth action, which often begins to feel futile or wears them down or feels very mundane. They're action first oriented and may have little to no awareness of the energy behind things. But you are the opposite. You are soul first. You are energy first. And while many people around you may not comprehend your process, being energy first, being soul first, letting the action flow naturally once you've established that energetic rhythm, your way of doing things in this manner actually seems to be bringing immensely powerful, even those quantum leap level kinds of results that are going to look miraculous to other people. I'm hearing, how did you do it? How did you do that? That is what people are saying or will be saying as you're on this pathway. Like, how did you achieve that so quickly? Or how did you make that connection? Or how did that happen for you? I'm hearing magical moments. So your days may start to be filled with magical moments of wonder, of synchronicity, of just meeting the right person at the right time, being in the right place at the right time. I'm feeling that you are just really going to feel yourself flowing and in sync with the universe as you continue prioritizing the energy over the action here as you've been doing. For someone listening, I feel this whole portion of the reading has quite literally just been a confirmation that I'm hearing that you're doing things correctly for you. Of course, there's really no right or wrong in the grander scheme of things, only what's right or wrong for you right now. But it's more of a confirmation that you are in alignment with what is correct, what is optimal for you. You are on your optimized pathway. The strange thing is, I'm hearing other people are looking at your optimized pathway and thinking it's a delayed pathway. So they think that you are behind the curve, or you're delayed, or you are, I'm hearing, procrastinating something or doing things in a slow kind of roundabout or even circular way. But you are actually creating the energetic foundation for quantum leaps that they are later going to call miraculous. And that is the very interesting thing about how you seem to be moving and operating in your life these days. It's not so much about the 3D based kind of linear step-by-step process. It's more like you are preparing this energy, this energetic environment that is then conducive to moments of quantum leap where things suddenly change dramatically in beautiful ways. And then people wonder, whoa, how did all of that come together? And I'm hearing, I built it energetically first. That's almost like your internal soul response to these individuals. I built it energetically, so the physical lined up naturally and in a fashion that onlookers would even refer to as miraculous. I'm hearing it wasn't really a quantum leap energetically because you've been gradually shifting the energy, putting yourself in that flow consistently, but it looks like a quantum leap physically because many people discount or do not understand the energetic processes behind a quantum leap. Now, talking about all of this really has me thinking that I would love to create a subliminal in my Subliminals app, which is Sound and Soulful. If you would like to check it out, it's in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. But I'm really feeling guided to maybe create a subliminal for those of you who are members there that will help you achieve these quantum leaps and work with the energy more effectively. This could be a powerful tool because I know many of you are already doing that. So hopefully I can create something there that supports you in this process. But also I would love to do a YouTube style video where we go through step-by-step techniques that you can consider using to create the energetic environments that allow for quantum leaps in your life. So let me know in the comments if you would like videos on YouTube here that are more related to quantum leaps. But I am going to be reshuffling the cards, and I know that I've been kind of long form speaking here and not really sharing the cards as they've been coming out. I've been using them a little bit to guide the reading, but we did pull the very first card in the reading, by the way, which I find really interesting because the card we pulled is the Lovers. And the reason I find this interesting is I haven't found this reading to be particularly love related. But for many of you, maybe that's because you've kind of put love or romance on a back burner, or you've been kind of detaching yourself in that way, not necessarily fixating so much in love, focusing on pouring more into yourself. But this may be one way in which people around you may perceive you at times to be behind the curve or delayed or kind of looping in some way. I'm hearing you're onto something very powerful when it comes to the way that you are operating in love, and that it relates to what we've been talking about because it's one of those areas of your life that people seem to misunderstand. I'm hearing they think you're spiraling. They think you're going back into something continuously or looping in some kind of way, like an unhealthy way. But you are actually growing and ascending. I'm hearing once again, you are in the optimal place for your growth currently when it comes to love and romance. But it feels like people around you do not understand that because I'm hearing they're measuring you to a different standard, maybe more of a 3D standard. I'm hearing their way of understanding things. They're measuring your progress or where you're at or what's happening in your love life based on their understanding of what is right or what is normal or what is traditional, not necessarily what is right for you or what is optimized for you. Because again, you actually seem to be on your optimized pathway when it comes to love. But I find it interesting that this card is on the throat chakra. I do have my different chakra stones set up here so that sometimes cards will seem to connect with different chakra centers in the 7 chakra system. And there's something about communication and truth. I'm hearing you are living a truth in love that most people are afraid to face within themselves. And you are so boldly truthful and authentic in the way you move in your love life. And what I'm getting is, I'm hearing you say the truths or you live the truths that others are afraid to fully acknowledge within themselves. I'm hearing because they wouldn't want certain relationships in their life to fall apart because they're afraid to let go. I feel that you've allowed certain relationships or connections to dissolve. These may be romantic, may be non-romantic. This could be connections with family, friends, people from your past. I'm getting so many chills as I'm channeling into this, which is always my sign of spiritual confirmation. But anyway, I feel that you've allowed many connections to dissolve because you stood in your truth. It's not even that you were pushing those people away. You were simply being all of who you are. You were being open. I'm hearing you were living according to your truth, even when it's unconventional, even when it's messy. You have this, I'm hearing your first love is your truth. Your dedication right now is to your truth. And there are many people who are intimidated by this because they see you living a kind of truth in love that they wish that they could acknowledge within themselves. I'm hearing you highlight the cognitive dissonance within others. There's something about the way that you live your love life or that you move in love specifically that causes other people to begin wondering, wait a second, like I'm allowed to love that way or live that way or break the molds. It's almost like you are living the permission in love that they haven't given themselves yet. And there's something uncomfortable about that for many people. And often that discomfort is projected as judgment. So what I'm getting is you actually, and for some reason I'm hearing in my mind's eye or seeing in my mind's eye the book, The Scarlet Letter. And if you're familiar with it, I remember studying it back in school. And it's interesting because the other day I was realizing that when I was in high school and studying The Scarlet Letter, that book connected so deeply with me and it touched me in some kind of way I couldn't really understand at the time. And I felt such a kind of connectedness to 𝗤𝗄𝗏, the character in the book, who is basically marked with shame by her community and then exiled, but she continued to, I believe she was sewing things for the community or something like that, like offering them love, doing these good works for them, even though she was exiled. And many people in the community secretly seemed to harbor a kind of admiration for her, even though she was exiled and marked with this shame because she broke with their traditions and what they understood as right and wrong. And now I understand, as I'm older, that the reason I connected so deeply with this piece of writing is because this was my first brush with the divine feminine in a really tangible way. Really, 𝗤𝗄𝗏 in this book, I feel, is an embodiment of divine feminine energy being rejected by conventionality, but boldly continuing to not only walk her own path, but also to offer this frequency of love to people who had rejected her. And I feel that, I'm sure I didn't get the story entirely correct. It's been a while since I've read the book, but this came back up into my mind. Maybe somehow this connects for someone. But the reason I'm sharing that is because I feel that for someone listening, it's almost like because you've lived your truth, because you refuse to concede on your truth, you were kind of exiled, maybe emotionally, maybe energetically, maybe literally, from some kind of community, from a family, from a friend group, from like a social kind of status. I feel like you've gone through some kind of exile because you've lived in your truth. And yet at the same time, what you are doing, what you are creating, it's a creation of love, even for those who rejected you. You haven't lost your softness. You haven't returned bitterness with bitterness. You've returned bitterness and rejection and judgment with love. And in doing so, it's like I'm hearing you've dissolved the hate. And people who may have been part of that space or that community that didn't fully understand you or even rejected you in some sense, I'm getting that many of them are actually now holding this almost secret admiration for you. I get the feeling that you have a lot of people who silently watch you, who have their eyes on you, maybe online, maybe in person, who see you in a positive light, but keep it to themselves. But you feel this energy of like watchfulness, but also admiration from these individuals. There are people who I'm hearing are on the other side of a fence where it's almost like they want to offer you support, but because of their belief system or because of their upbringing, it's like they have these walls of limitation or limiting belief systems that can only allow them to go so far with you or to say so much in the physical. But energetically, there is this warmth, this admiration, this support coming from many of these individuals, even people who may have misunderstood you or rejected you in the past. That's what I'm getting very strongly. So I guess in part, this Lovers card speaks to this beautiful journey of self-love that you've been on, having the courage to stand on your own. And I'm hearing if you feel tired at times, know that that is completely normal because you are carrying a lot, because it's not easy to be exiled in a sense from a society or a community or a way of thinking and to make a way for yourself on your own. But you are out here doing it. Give yourself that credit for how far you've come, especially on this journey of self-love, because I'm hearing your self-love is inspiring others to love and accept themselves on a deeper level as well. But I do have to say, I feel that there are more maybe romantic specific messages that could come from this card that we just haven't gotten into yet. So I am going to be kind of digging deeper for those messages. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my coffee here, which, by the way, I just have plain black coffee today. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have something that you are eating or drinking during this reading. Yeah, once again, I'm hearing don't compromise on your routines, your rhythms. I'm not sure why that's coming up so strongly, but there's something you're doing that people do not understand or see as insignificant that is actually incredibly significant in the energetic realm, because it's a tool or a modality or a rhythm, a routine that you are using to actually shift energy in some kind of way. Okay, so I am going to get into those love-specific messages, but I really felt called to the Work Your Light Oracle deck. And here we have the card, 𝗟𝗶𝗵𝘁, where are you being called to journey to, and awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Ooh, this is definitely giving me grid worker energy. So what I'm picking up, because all of this is connecting with the sacral chakra, with that kind of gut level, in the moment, intuitive knowing that we receive, that we're more open to hearing when we are fully present with ourselves, when we're grounded in ourselves. And what I'm hearing is that when you're kind of in this flow and when you're in the present moment, you may be met by some kind of opportunity that tugs on you, that lights you up. This could be a conversation with a person, a new meeting of someone. This could be an invitation. I'm getting that word invitation very strongly. My guides are saying yes, yes, yes. It's some kind of invitation. Now, this doesn't have to be an explicit spoken invitation. It could be an invitation into a friendship, into a connection, into someone's world. into some kind of event. It could be, well, an event invitation would be more explicit, more literal. So it could be something more literal, an invitation to travel somewhere, to do something. And I'm getting that you're going to feel that yes energy within yourself, but your conscious mind is going to kind of make you feel indecisive. And I'm getting this message of listening to your intuition. When you receive this intuition that lights you up in some kind of way, have the courage to say yes, because through that experience, even if you don't fully understand it or see how every step of it is going to play out, there's going to be some kind of energetic upgrade that takes place through some way that person, that event, that situation, that place is going to be activating you. Again, this is really giving me light worker, but specifically grid worker energy, where for those of you who aren't familiar, grid working is fascinating. Grid workers are a specific kind of light worker who are called to travel to specific locations on the Earth's grid, not only because they have the ability to transmit an energy to those places that helps to heal or shift a specific collective there, or maybe the grid of the earth itself, but also because often they themselves receive a very specific energetic upgrade from those literal geographical locations. So it's two-sided, and I would love to share more about that. I think I've done a video on that here in the past, but I feel there's more information that could come through about grid workers. But anyway, travel could somehow be connected, or being a grid worker could be connected here. But let's go ahead and get back to these love messages, the love specific messages, which I feel we may end up continuing in the extended reading. We'll just see how it goes. But I want to give us a preview of what is happening in love here. Okay, we have the card walking away, but I'm hearing keeping at a distance. I feel I'm speaking to someone here who is keeping a particular love connection boundaried or at some kind of distance in the physical world. I'm hearing that this is a very in the moment, fluid thing. So it feels like you listen to your intuition in the moment and pace this connection accordingly, or maybe intentionally keep this person at a certain distance or let them in a certain amount based on what your intuition is telling you in the moment. Again, this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic for all of you if it's not connecting in that way. I also just keep seeing a mountain. I'm hearing the Rocky Mountains. Thinking woman and appreciation reversed. I'm also hearing in your head about someone who isn't fully seeing you. Again, doesn't have to be romantic. Love comes in many forms. But I feel like I'm picking up on someone who's really mentally caught or trapped in their head about a person, romantic or non-romantic, who isn't fully appreciating them or seeing them. And I'm hearing the question why are they not seeing me? Why are they not fully getting me or connecting with me? Or I'm hearing seeing who I am or my beauty or what I have to offer. And I'm getting that the response is because they're not on your vibration. They're not on your frequency. If someone isn't seeing your worth or your beauty or your value, that doesn't mean you don't have those things. In fact, in this case, you are very beautiful in whatever way that means for you. Maybe for some of you that applies physically, but know that even if you don't feel physically beautiful, you have a beautiful energy that does naturally exude, that reflects itself in how people perceive you as this beautiful being that you are. You are incredibly valuable. You have so much to offer energetically, but people who are not on your level of frequency may treat you as though you are invisible or like they don't see you, because on some level they actually don't see you, because what we perceive, our perceptions through our physical senses, is actually all about vibration. So if we are on a very different vibration for something than something, we won't be able to fully take it in or see it for all that it is. And that's the sense I'm getting, that there may be someone, again, romantically or otherwise, that your mind has almost been struggling to understand, because you're I feel like this person just isn't seeing me. I want them to see me. I want to present myself to them in some way. I want them to understand me. But again, I'm getting, it's not that you are not worthy. It's not that you're not beautiful. It's not that you don't have something to offer. It's that they are on a very different level of vibration. And when that occurs, you may be able to see them because you're up here in this kind of high flying vibration, getting a bird's eye view, but they may not be able to look up and see you because they haven't achieved that kind of level of energy or consciousness within themselves to perceive or understand you fully. But I keep getting that sometimes they do. And that's the complication here. I almost feel we're speaking about someone who, like, for example, maybe when you initially met them, it was one of those rare moments where they were looking up, so to speak, where their vibration did rise a bit higher and they did connect with you. I just keep getting the energy of someone who dropped back down into this lower vibration, and now you're confused because maybe they did see you for a moment or there was a connection and I'm hearing wow. It's almost like they saw you and were like, wow, maybe you saw that in their face, or there was this energy vibe connection between you and they were stunned by you. But lately, when you've been seeing them or connecting with them, it's almost like you're invisible to them, or they're not quite connecting with you in the same way. And again, I'm getting that this has everything to do with them and their level of frequency, their level of vibration. It doesn't have to do with your worth or your beauty. And something about understanding that is really significant. So I will be continuing on this reading in the extended version. I'm sure we'll go deeper into the romantic love messages that want to come through, but also anything else that wants to come up in that reading. I will just be following the flow of the energy and seeing what wants to come through. So if you do feel guided to join me there, the link to listen is in the pinned comment and description box under this video. If you liked this video or connected in some way, then subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at @magnetizeyourself. I've been posting there a lot lately, really on a daily basis lately. And there have just been a lot of downloads and messages coming through on Instagram. So that could be a place for more real-time energy updates if you're interested in that. And I do now create and share channeled music. I am a singer-songwriter, and I like to take certain threads of energy that come up in readings and channel them through lyrics and music. So my first 2 songs are already streaming across platforms. My third song, I just have received the instrumental track from my producer, and I'm working on re-recording my vocals on that instrumental. So it won't be long before that third song is out. I'm really excited. I think this is my favorite one so far. So if you do want to follow my music, the best place to follow is on Spotify. And my artist name is Songs by 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝘁, but there's also a direct link to my latest song in the description box under this video. Have a beautiful remainder of your day. I love you all so much. And because I am doing the daily postings, I'm happy to say I will see you here again in tomorrow's video.